For as long as I can remember, my tagline in life has always been your very best life. And if you look at my logo, it says clear to create your very best life. Because whether we've been best friends for 20 years or we've known each other for 20 minutes, I want you to live your version of your very best life. And that's different for every single one of us. But the truth is, you cannot go from past pain and childhood trauma and a failed marriage and a business that blew up and all the things to just living your very best life. We have to clear before we can create. We have to clear the story to create the life. I can't tell you how many times my clients come to me and say, I want a different story, to which I say, then quit telling the old one. So we have to clear the story to create the life. We have to clear the cycles to create the confidence. Whatever you've been through, I suspect there's part of you that says, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust myself. I thought I knew. Look how that turned out. So we have to clear those cycles that keep showing up to create that confidence so that you get to anchor in and trust yourself again. We have to clear the patterns to create the partnerships. We all want aligned, genuine, amazing partnerships, professionally, romantically, personally, with our friends, with our family. But when we bring all those old patterns and all the things that have been running the show for decades, we don't get those partnerships. We get more of the same. Do you know anybody that's ever said to you, I keep dating the same person over and over again? Those are the patterns. We have to clear the resentment to create the results. So many high-achieving women almost get what they want, but they never quite get there. And lastly, we have to clear the loss to create the love. Even if you left a marriage that you knew 1,000% was not good for you to be in, you still have to grieve what you wanted for your life, for yourself, for your family. My name is Riana Malia. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm a board-certified neurosomatic integrative practitioner. I help high-achieving women who have had success in all areas of life except this one thing. Clear what doesn't serve them to create the life and love that's meant for them. Let's talk about it. So that methodology, that's really like the big umbrella, right? That's the method. Here's the why. And now I want to share with you the how. So the framework is called the Quantum Pattern Protocol, and it's 3 phases. We clear, we create, and we claim. But before we can clear anything, we have to get crystal clear. Because if you don't know who you are and what you want, there's really nowhere to go from there, right? It would be like if you and I went to dinner together and we sat down and we ordered, the server came by and said, okay, what would you like? And we're like, yeah, we're gonna start with a salad, a beverage of some kind, some protein, and a great vegetable. Amazing. They bring us back an iced tea and a Caesar salad and a beautiful roasted chicken and some Brussels sprouts. And we got exactly what we ordered, to a T, except what we wanted was a great glass of Chardonnay and a piece of halibut and some roasted asparagus and an arugula salad with figs and goat cheese. Do you see the difference? So many people go through life saying, why does everybody else get what why don't I ever, when is it my turn? And I promise you that most of the time, it's because you're not clear about really what you want. So once we have that, have that clarity, then we get to clear. We do a dysfunction detox and we blow out all of that strategy and neurology and behavior and ways of thinking and showing up that again have been running the show for decades. And I want you to hear me when I say, this is not your fault. This is nothing that you did or didn't do. If you could have figured this out and solved it, you would have. This is why it's so incredibly important to understand the difference between the conscious and the unconscious mind, right? So the conscious mind is everything from the neck up. It's our goal setter, we use it all day long, it's 10%, which means the rest of our body, the other 90% from the neck down, is the unconscious mind. So if the conscious is the goal setter, the unconscious is the goal getter, it's the operating system. But most importantly, it is the literal library of everything you've ever experienced in your entire life. Everything you've ever felt, said, everything that's been said to you, it's all held at a cellular level. And when it's not released properly, then we see all the things show up and manifest in the body. Anxiety, depression, overwhelm, autoimmune disorder, illness, injury, disease, stuff that keeps showing up that you don't want. So when we get to blow that out, now we get to answer the question, who are you? Who are you now? Who are you outside of, away from the noise and the labels and all the things? Like, who are you now? Between now and dead, what do you want? And then we get to move into the create phase, where we get to kind of start to activate this and feel it. And then, really important, then we're going to replace all of that neurology and strategy and behavior and ways of thinking, seeing, being, doing. Because here's the thing, in this work, so much of this work focuses really, really heavily on awareness and clarity, which is great, because that's the foundation for any kind of transformation, growth, whatever the word is. But if you blow all of that out and you don't replace it, what happens? Well, the unconscious mind can't fill in the blank. So this is why people say, look, I have done so much work. I've been in therapy for years. Like, I've done all of this, and I had started here and I made all this progress and it felt really good. And then something happened and triggered them right back to who they were 10 years ago. It's because you didn't replace the neurology and the behavior and the strategy. Now that we've gotten crystal clear, we've cleared out all the stuff that doesn't serve you. We've replaced that, give you the skills to go with the knowledge so you don't end up in that maddening thing of like, great, now I had all these ahas, what the hell do I do with it? And now we're gonna actually look at what you say you want, and we are going to reverse engineer all of those things. We'll call them goals, but we're gonna start at the end and we're gonna micro step backwards. What has to happen just before that? All the way back till today. And then we're going to install that on your timeline, on your future timeline, so that we get to ignite the reticular activating system in your brain, which is then going to become laser focused, looking for all of those people and the resources and the experiences and the opportunities that you want in your life versus more of what you don't want, right? Because here's the thing, every day we think between 65,000 and 85,000 thoughts. 90% of those thoughts are recycled. They're the same thoughts that we thought yesterday and the day before and the week before and the night before and in the middle of the night. And the problem with that is 75% of those thoughts are negative. Now, I will say I get a lot of pushback on that. Like I said, my clients are brilliant, self-aware women. And they're like, I am so good on mindset. Like, I'm so rock solid. I'm so clear. I never want to be in another relationship where I don't feel cherished and adored. I don't ever want to be in another relationship where I don't feel like I can trust that person. I don't ever want to be in another job that I hate. I don't. Well, the unconscious mind can't hear the clarifying don't. This is why people continue to find themselves in these same experiences over and over again. So now we get to move in to this final phase, to the claim phase, where you get to own and integrate and embody this version of you, this identity that actually fits who you are now. And when we own that, we don't need any more external permission. You don't need anybody to say to you, oh yes, that's right. Nope, don't do that. You're good, you've got it. This is also where you fall in love with yourself again and trust yourself again and confidently hold boundaries and expertly communicate your needs so that you can deepen the richness in every single one of your relationships. And then we integrate that into those relationships, into your friendships, into your business, into your decisions, into your energy. And then you get to embody her. And you get to lead and love and live from this new frequency. And then you just kind of get to hang out and just be with grace. And when I talk about frequency, I think it's important to mention because we don't get what we want, we get who we are. I want you to imagine for a moment. I want you to just take a second and I want you to think about your favorite music. And then I want you to think about your least favorite music. And I want you to imagine, I'm going to use myself as an example. So my favorite music is country music. So I want you to imagine, fill in the blank, whatever yours is, that everything that you want for yourself, your life, your future is hanging out on Sirius XM 111, Kenny, Morgan, Luke's, all the things, right? But when you're in this space and you're coming from a place of fear and not knowing who you are and not knowing what you want, you're hanging out at this frequency and this vibration that's low. So for me, I would say my least favorite music is screaming, Metallica, acid, whatever rock that is. So when you are unconsciously spending time in those lower frequencies, you're stuck on the Metallica station and you can't turn it off. You can't even turn it down. It's just blaring at you. And the question is, can I hear Kenny Chesney on the Metallica station? Not a chance in hell. So if I'm going to be able to live the life and the love and the experiences that are meant for me, I have to raise that frequency. And that's what this work does, without going back into the trauma and the story that caused the pain in the first place. So I wanted to just share that with you, give you a little bit of insight of what this looks like. I think people get really concerned and stressed and stuck in, I don't want to tell my story again. I talked about it in therapy for years. I don't want to do it again. So I want you to know that not only do we not do that, I won't let you do that. It's not even allowed. So this gets to be a painless, peaceful process where in a matter of weeks, there's going to be parts of you that you don't even recognize in all the best way. If this feels like I'm speaking to you, to your heart, to your gut, just reach out. Let's have a conversation. Go to the website, send me a message, however it is. But just because something's always been has no relevance on what it could be. If you enjoyed this, if this conversation felt like I was speaking to you, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so that you can always be the first to know. And then if you really want to stay connected, jump over to the website, rianamalia.com, and subscribe to the Inner Circle newsletter. And I will send you little bits of love here and there that can actually move the needle in your life. See you soon.